tuned for my video right here on Social Goals.
Say one thing before we started the show too, you're not having a good time. But if you're not having a good time, you're wasting your time. You say that every night.
Situationships, and all things like that. Thank you so much.
Daddy Young got 265 gallons of pure milk chocolate, and you are watching the Social Goals.
All right. This is What's Up Shreveport. I am Darien Willis. As you see sitting before me, this is my kinfolk, Miss Brittney Ball, LPC. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. It's been a lot going on, this year. So how your year going?
My year's going amazing. I feel good. Business is good. 2025 has been a good year.
Okay. So how long has Serenity Counseling been in existence? Because you were on Before the Vision before. You're actually up here somewhere. But how long has your company actually been in business?
Serenity Counseling LLC has been open for 7 years. February, I made 7 years in business. I've been counseling for over 12 years.
Oh, wow. So you got a lot of skin in the game.
Yes, indeed. I started off as an elementary school counselor, so I worked with kids and just transitioned through other parts of the mental health world. So I love what I do.
Okay. So look, 12 years, advancing social media and technology. So with what you've been doing, how has the technology either helped or hindered you?
It's definitely been a help because a lot of my referrals come from a Facebook message or an Instagram message, or maybe from a video I've posted. So it's definitely been helpful. I haven't found it to be harmful personally or for my business, but sometimes people misuse verbiage or hot topic terms, and then they get a misconception about what counseling is or what different diagnoses are. And so I feel like that could hurt the process of maybe starting counseling or starting a counseling business, things like that. So it's just about who are you following and what are they saying?
Okay. So right now, like I say, you've been established. For those who may want to seek your services, we have a graphic. And it actually does have the address. That's what I was going to ask you. So as far as people actually seeking your services, what are the requirements and what's your recommended way of being contacted if someone wants to seek your services?
Of course, you can always call 318-317-2984. That's a direct contact number to get to me. You can reach out via my website. It's serenitycounselingllc.org. Right now, I only service adults, so I do not see anyone under 18. And I only accept commercial insurances of Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Cigna, and Optum. Optum is also known as United Healthcare. So adults only, commercial insurances. I prefer my adults be higher functioning. So you may have a family, relationships, you have things going on in your life. I don't prescribe medication. That's something that some people believe, but I'm not able to prescribe medication. But Mainly, I do cognitive behavioral therapy. And most all my clients come every other week. I have some clients that come every week, and I'm just here to be a professional support for you and what you're dealing with in your day-to-day life, and also resolving past issues.
Okay. So look, Kinfolk, I don't know if you know, but I know.
What you know?
All right.
What
So
you know?
this year, I actually got to see that you were actually a part of the Toya and Reginae reality series on WeTV. And this is season 2, correct?
Correct. Season 2 of the Toya and Reginae show on WeTV.
Okay, Kinfolk. What was that experience like, man? Look, we got some videos.
Yeah.
You know, do you want us to kind of get into the videos and we kind of talk
sure.
about? Okay, so look, before we get into that, she kind of tell us about, because my cousin was on that show doing her thing. So look, we're gonna be right back. We're gonna show the first video so we can give y'all an idea, and then we'll kind of talk about it. We'll be right back.
I need Walter to get to his sister for me. They need to get me and my sister back on terms, man. I did brought y'all here, man. I ain't therapy this week.
So what's going on now?
You know, me and Tanya's still going through our little issues and stuff, so
We need to explore what a sincere apology may look like for her. Because if this has been a repeated pattern in the family, she may have hit her limit.
y'all know, man, Tanya, bro, we ain't supposed to be going through this right now, man. Like, I really love my sister, bro, you know, and that hurt. You know, you can't even talk to your own family members when you need somebody to talk to. And that's why I went back to therapy, and I don't want to be...
Are you being honest with the therapist, though?
Yeah, I'm being honest.
Because if it's like you beefing with everybody, if everybody's saying the same thing, most likely what they're saying is true.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
It ain't, bro. It ain't.
I definitely think.
All right. So they had a chance to actually see the first clip. In that clip that I saw, Brittney, it was a clip of you on a laptop, and it seemed like you were maybe giving some advice. I don't know if that was therapy, but you know, let's talk about that a little bit. What was going on? So what happened?
So we were in 2 different locations. So obviously I'm physically located in Bossier City and he's located in South Louisiana at the time. And so I offer telehealth services. And so you asked about the technology earlier. And so me being licensed in Louisiana and Texas, I can service residents of both states. So not everybody that I see is in Shreveport, Bossier. So this was a time where I could not meet him in person, but we did a virtual session. And so it was just a short clip. It was actually a piece of a counseling session that we did virtually, but they just kind of, you know, edited a little bit just to show a short piece of that counseling session. Of course, he had to give us permission to film and show that on TV, but it was just me kind of giving him some feedback on something that he was seeking with the family before we actually went into like a in-person session with his family. So telehealth services is great if you're a person that's on the go. Maybe you can't get a babysitter, maybe you don't have transportation. Us being able to log in a confidential space on the computer has done wonders, you know. So I love that piece about, you know, being in business for myself, that I can see you in person and online. So, yeah.
So telehealth, for those that may not know what telehealth is, do they actually have to have maybe a FaceTime, or is it more of can it be a phone call that you actually have to see?
Okay. So we have to use a HIPAA compliant platform. And HIPAA compliant just means that it's something private, like your information is kept confidential. So I cannot use like a FaceTime or a, what's the other things? Like the Zoom has to be protected by something specific. So I actually use a platform called Psychology Today. And so that's a service that I pay for, so that I can make sure that all your information is protected. So the preferred method is a video chat where I can see and hear you. Every now and then I'll do a phone session. That's if the person doesn't have a good reception of where they are. So they may not have good internet services, but I know a lot of insurances are stopping payment with telephonic services. So be careful with that. I prefer to be able to see your face, so that I can kind of, once again, still read body language. So I think that it's important, like I said, just if you have to do telehealth, making sure you're connected to a good internet connection or a good Wi-Fi connection, and that you're in a still place, in a confidential place, so that you can still open up and say what you need to say.
Okay, and with telehealth, that came about when COVID occurred, correct? Or was it already?
Yeah, so it was already a thing before 2020. I actually got certified to do telehealth services, I think, in 2018, 2019. So I was already providing services to people in South Louisiana. And then, of course, when the pandemic happened, we had to switch to telehealth. So I kind of remember that time was a trying time for a lot of us. seeing 6 or 7 people in a day on a computer screen. And so being able to kind of still work from home and manage, your home life and things like that. But it got popular around the pandemic time. And so it just kept going. Once again, insurances, they don't, they're trying to cut back on what they pay. But I think we've been lobbying to kind of keep that service going because it is helpful.
Okay. So during the pandemic with the telehealth, it actually, your workload actually increased.
It did. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So when a lot of people stopped working, I was able to still work, and I'm blessed to be able to say so. So though it was a trying time, a crisis time, I was excited to still be able to work and service more people. Okay. And it helped me to see kind of what was going on in their house a little bit, or kind of understand their home life a little bit better. So that was interesting. I had a couple clients that were pregnant during that time, so I got to meet their babies and things like that. So that was exciting to see.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. All right, so look, we still go stay on the narrative of the Toya and Reginae reality series that's on WeTV. I have another clip of you that I actually want to show for the general public when you're actually meeting Miss Toya. I don't know, it's not Toya Carter no more. I don't know her last name. I've never really actually physically watched the show. But we'll be right back, y'all. We want to show this clip. We're going to talk about that with Miss Brittney Ball. We'll be right back.
Good afternoon. Hi. I'm Brittney.
Hi, I'm Toya.
Nice to meet you. Come in and have a seat.
Okay, thank you. I'm a little early, meeting with Casey's therapist, tell my side of the story without Casey twisting the narrative. I don't think Casey is telling the therapist the full story. He's telling bits and pieces of the story, but not the whole truth.
Well, I appreciate you coming in. I've been working with your brother Casey, and I understand that you had some things that you wanted to share before we meet together as a group. So let me know a little about what's been going on from your perspective.
From the very beginning, he just used to do little different things, like always fighting the kids that was his age or picking on them.
So a little defiant.
Yeah,
right? Okay.
He stole a landlord car as a kid.
Okay.
Like just some wild things that will make you be like, oh, this one is a little trouble kid. Yeah. But I think when he got out of prison the second time, it just got a little worse.
What did you notice was different after release?
He lashes out, as he called it, blacking out when he gets upset.
Or because he's clicking now. So
right, clicking out.
Yeah.
When people make me mad, I clicks out. I ain't gonna go off on you. Y'all calling me with bull, messing my spirit up. I just feel like you could support me more. If I ain't hear my music right now, it's gonna like it. It's a fact.
He will come around and it's like he have these episodes in front of my kids and saying all these hateful things in front of my daughter, my mother-in-law. F all y'all. I'm gonna show y'all all fake. I don't have no family. F family. Instead of like coming together and being there for one another, he attacks you instead.
Right. And then you don't want to be around him, right? You let him know, hey, this is the behavior that you've done to hurt me or embarrass me, or so let him know that there's a consequence to his bad behavior. But if he repeatedly misbehaves or lashes out, let him know he's no longer welcome until you all can see that changed behavior.
I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can make it right, like for our family, for our kids, for our mom, because I know how it affects our mother with the separation of us now.
All right, so for those that are tuning in and watching, we just actually showed another clip of Miss Brittney Ball, LPC, CEO at Serenity Counseling LLC. So that second clip, it seemed like you were introduced. You and Toya actually met each other. So tell us about that sequence.
So in the prior episode, Casey was wanting his sister to join him in a counseling session. So sometimes I'll do family sessions just to see if it'll help the client move on a little further. So he wanted her to join him in a counseling session, and she requested that she and I speak one-on-one before he joined us in session. So she and I talked about some things that she's observed with her brother and the family and his behaviors and things about them growing up. And so that was helpful to give me a little bit more insight on the client and the family dynamic before we actually did the family session in full. So she gave me a snapshot of her experience of him prior to all three of us sitting down together.
Okay, so I guess that leads me to another question. With the family counseling sessions, is that a lengthy process as far as paperwork with maybe like the HIPAA or confidentiality? So
not necessarily. A lot of times I meet with all my clients individually first. So I want to get to know you, your issues, things like that. I open the door to family members if I feel like it'll help you progress. So if you're stuck in a space, like you've been getting into it with a parent or a spouse or a child, I invite them in, or I allow you to invite them in actually, to see if like it's a breakthrough conversation that we can have, or if I can mediate a conversation. So it's not too lengthy. Yes, they still have to sign paperwork because it's still a confidential space. So what we discuss in office stays in office.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely just to kind of help the client move along. So after I meet with the family, I continue working with the individual.
Okay. All right. So look, for those that are watching, we're going to move on to this next clip. And I think this is a shorter clip, but it actually shows, I guess you're still engaged in conversation with Toya. So we'll be right back. We're going to show everybody this clip.
Something that they can do to show respect towards you, since you say you feel disrespected by them?
Just like taking me more serious. Like when I say something, just know that it's law.
You ain't saying nothing that's low. You always saying stuff that hurt and hit. Like
I
it
say
hit people
stuff when I'm
hard.
mad. Everybody say stuff when they mad.
Like he says stuff that is hard to just let go.
All right, so we back with Miss Brittney Ball. Okay, so we had a clip, and I actually, kind of showed both. I guess you talking with both of them, and how was that?
It was good. It was a very productive conversation. The clip you just saw, I think it was one of the promotional scenes from the network, and so you all see me make a face at the end, and so I got some little kickback in the comments about me making a face, and when a family member comes in, sometimes they tell me things that the client didn't tell me. And so my reaction is me being shocked or surprised because the client didn't share what the family member shared with me. So as a human, I'm allowed to react to things that I'm hearing. And it also helps me to be relatable as a human to you, that if you hear something shocking, you're going to make a face or have emotions. And that helps us to connect a little bit more. So of course, editing and things like that, they show something to get your attention. So that's what you saw there. But the conversation with the family overall was very productive and smooth, like a conversation. But like I said, some truths were brought about, and that's what that piece was about. So he had been saying some hurtful things to his family, and she wanted to address it directly. And that's me being a mediator. I have to hear all sides of the story, you know.
And look, Kenfo, we gonna run that clip back. Okay. So we want to, because you talking about your face. I want to see this. Hey, y'all, we'll be right back. You are tuned in to What's Up Shreveport.
Something that they can do to show respect towards you, since you say you feel disrespected by them?
Just like taking me more serious. Like when I say something, just know that it's law.
You ain't saying nothing that's low. You always saying stuff that hurt and hit. Like it hit people hard.
When I'm mad. Everybody say stuff when they mad.
Like he says stuff that is hard to just let go. One that sticks with me the most is, I'm the reason our brothers are dead.
All right, so I had to go back and look. I want to see what, and I seen expression. But I mean, I don't know why people. It's like, you look like you like what,
yeah.
So like, what they want you to be monotone? I mean, what?
I'm not sure what they were looking for. I think that's something. That's the one thing that made me nervous about being on TV, being exposed to the public nationally, or even I guess across the globe at this point.
Right.
The comments are open. People can say what they want to say or type what they want to say. And do I respond? Do I not respond? And so I took a stance, and it wasn't too many negative comments. I'm not going to even say that was a thing. But some of my friends, of course, they know me. They know my faces and things like that. So it was kind of comical on our side. Okay. But I think I was nervous just about maybe any criticism that would have come, because I didn't get to see what was going to be shown. So I watched it the same time everybody else watched it. So I didn't know how I was going to look. So I think that kind of triggered some nervousness for me. But I was pleased overall with how it came out. But it was just like, are people going to talk about me, or, are other counselors going to critique what I was doing? But like I said, at the end, I was pleased. And so I'm not sure what the expectation was. I'm not going to be like every other counselor that you may see on TV. I am me from beginning to end. And that's what I wanted you to see, just the genuine process and me,
Yeah, seeing your authentic self. I mean, I think that would make me more enthused actually coming for services. I don't want to, deal with someone that seems like they may be acting.
Right.
I want someone that's actually, I want to see the emotion because I want to know if I'm wrong. You know, you can read people's body, the nonverbal cues.
I think that was a big thing when we say it's reality TV. You know, is it a storyline or something that they want to get for reactions and things like that? But I can say my part was real.
Okay. So, even with that being said, we have another clip, and like I say, we'll be right back.
That was a good thing for me. They helped me talk to y'all better. Okay. You know, because I be angry, right? You know, I deal with them anger management issues, and Brittney helped me like calm it down.
You have to be open-minded to doing things differently. What are you willing to do starting today so that you can get back on track?
I can't keep making the same mistakes over and over, thinking I'm gonna get different results.
And you gotta remember, it starts with you. You know, treat people how you want to be treated.
All right. So the last clip we just watched, it seemed like they were kind of summarizing when they actually met with you. Okay. So like overall, just being on the outside looking in, because you were a part of the process, now actually watching this on TV, how does that feel actually seeing it for yourself?
It was good. I think it helps the community see the need for counseling, the need for family therapy, the need for exploring how our past affects our present. And so him being able to admit how his behavior affects the family, how it affects his relationships with other people, and him getting the feedback from his siblings of like, hey, bro, when you do these things, it's consequences to that, or the need to set boundaries or address your anger, whatever the case may be. So I think it was good for the public to see how counseling works just a little bit. You know, it was just a snapshot of a couple of sessions, but it's definitely a process, and you have to trust the process, you know.
Okay, look, we talking about the process.
Yeah.
So for those who may not watch, you know, we gotta bring this graphic up, and what it says is that he has stopped going to therapy. Man, how does that make you feel as a therapist? Because you know you actually started that process with them, and then was it cold turkey, like straight cut off?
Yeah. So once again, it's a voluntary process. So you started is because you have goals, you have self-improvements that you want to make. So you're coming voluntarily. You schedule your sessions. You give me your insurance information, or you pay, you do whatever. So you're coming at your own free will. So you are allowed to stop when you want to stop. There are preferred methods of stopping counseling that counselors would like you to have. And so like I said, just kind of ending the relationship therapeutically or getting you a referral. But when it's a cold turkey cutoff, it kind of leaves us wondering. And that's something that it could be disheartening, but I understand. So I have clients that start and stop, and that's their decision. Some of them come back, some of them don't. And so it's work to do. So sometimes it gets hot in the kitchen, right? Some people aren't ready to face their issues or their flaws, or they're not ready to change. And so they stop because they're not ready to do the work. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I just do advise that you continue to do the work, even if it's without a counselor. Are you doing something without the presence of a professional to continue the self-improving process, or are you choosing not to do the work and you go back to old behaviors and not doing the things to help you mentally and emotionally?
Okay. So overall, like say we got to see you on TV, Ken folks. So you are now famous.
You know, just a little.
Look, can we see you on TV again? Is there something we don't know? Are you going to be back on TV? I mean, look, you know, social goes, we want the scoop. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know yet. I am open to all the possibilities. So there's nothing in the works. The finale just aired a couple weeks ago. We filmed over a year ago. So for me, this happened last year, you know, so just now seeing it live, I'm kind of reliving it again. So kind of just being in that moment of accepting like, hey, I was on TV, like, hey, I did this, and whoever saw it, I hope you appreciate it. I appreciate you tuning in. So I am open to more possibilities of being filmed again and helping other families and individuals.
Okay. All right. So look, you know, we are the month of April. This is, and what's the
Counseling Awareness Month. April is National Counseling Awareness Month, and we just came out of March and it was Social Workers Month. So shout out to all the social workers, but April is our month for counselors.
All right, so look, we got to celebrate you. I mean, what are you going to do to celebrate this month?
Just continue to bring awareness to why this is important. A lot of times we focus on our physical health. So if you want to lose or gain weight, or if you have an injury, you're going to go to the doctor, you're going to go to the gym, you're going to eat healthy. We're taking care of our bodies, but are we taking care of our mental and our emotional and our spiritual health? So definitely continue to push the need for continued support with coping skills, communication skills, building healthier relationships so that we can better our communities. I definitely believe if we're healthy individuals, physically, mentally, emotional, spiritually, we can have healthier relationships with each other out in the community. So whether that's with your family, romantic, workplace relationships, we all deserve that. So I'm just going to continue to push the narrative that counseling is a good thing. We're going to break the stigma. We're going to be honest in our communication about our therapeutic journeys.
Absolutely. Like, so once again, I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for
Is there
having
anything that you want to add pertaining to Serenity Counseling or anything like that before we get you out of here?
I am currently accepting clients. So if you want to reach out, feel free to do so. I offer a free initial consultation, and that's just for you to see my face, hear my voice, for us to kind of discuss the goals that you're looking for. And that's something I suggest to everybody. Even if you don't want to work with me, I can refer you to someone else. Or if you want to work with me, I just want to make sure that you feel comfortable so that we have that trust and relationship to work off of. So definitely accepting new clients, definitely open to speaking engagements, coming to your organizations and speaking about mental health. I'm here to help.
And K4, before we go, you actually have a book that's out there on the market. So if anyone actually, can you tell us that name of that book and how can they get that book?
The name of my mental health journal is 7 Principles to Serenity. And so it's just a guide of 7 principles that I teach to my clients about having a strong foundation in mental health. You can purchase it on Amazon, or you can purchase it from my website, serenitycounselingllc.org, and it is $15.
All right. Well, look, we go get you out of here. You already know she's been here. She's family. Very, very proud of you. We want to give you your flowers publicly, which we are. And like I said, I hope to see my cousin. I hope she becomes a celebrity therapist. I'm speaking it into existence for the celebrities. Hey, any celebrity that's watching this, please reach out to Miss Brittney Ball. She is really good at what she does.
Thank you for having me.
Look, we go get up out of here. We go holla.